Making friends as an adult is so important to your life because your relationships determine the life that you have and your life satisfaction. When you have some good friends around you, you have your family, you have all these things, it is so much easier to have a higher quality of life. But when you're lonely, when you don't feel like you have that many close friends, when you don't feel like you're making progress in your life, that's when we start to get sad. So let's focus today on how to make you some friends as an adult. Now, I feel a bit qualified to tell you this because I've moved 15 times in my life and I've had to, all the way from Copenhagen to Medellin, Colombia to South Africa, I've had to rebuild social circles from scratch and I know a decent bit about it. So let's talk about what even makes a friendship or somebody that would be goodly qualified for you to be a friend with them. So I break it down into 4 specific categories. Number 1 is proximity. Do they live around you? This is not to say that you can't have digital friendships. I have many. However, if you want that in-person friendship, the person that you can go to a bar with, you can go to a reading lounge, you can go to an event with, they have to live close. They have to be in your city. And the closer, the better. Oftentimes, when you think about your friendships from the past, maybe they're from university, maybe they were just from school, those people were close to you in physical proximity. Thus, you started to become friends with them. Next is timing. Are they at a similar stage of life as you? Now, it's not to say you can't become friends with the grandmother across the street, but it is a lot easier when you guys are in similar modes of life. And there's a second facet to timing, right? So 1, it's are you guys in similar areas of your life? And 2, do they have time to spend time with you? Let's say this person's in night school or they constantly working the night shift. Are you actually going to be able to see them? It's not to say you can't be friends with them, but it's probably not going to be in your inner circle of friends. Next is going to be energy. Are they kind of just a Debbie Downer? Are they like a wet blanket? Are they someone annoying to be around? Then you may not want to be, they may not be an energetic match for what you're trying to do. Let's say, again, we'll take the example, a lot of single ladies listen to my podcast. You're trying to meet guys. If they're not an energy, if they're just like, oh, I just like to stay home, maybe you guys could be a yin and yang friendship, but it's a lot easier to find somebody that's on a similar wavelength in terms of timing and energy. And finally, interests. This is where you're going to find a majority of your friends. So we'll take 2 separate sets of friends. Let's say one is going to be your work friends, and the other are going to be some kind of shared interest. So work friends, why are they ultimately friends? 1, they've got proximity to you. If you work in an office, they're going to be at the desk near you, maybe get water together, maybe grab lunch. So already you have this proximity. Timing. Yeah, they're in a similar mode of life. You're going to be spending time with them because your time is pretty much mandatory to be with them. Interest. Yeah, they're going to have the exact same interest as you typically. Now, you could be in an office where you're like, oh, nobody likes what I like. However, you have the shared interest of being at your job. You guys have something automatically to talk about. And then let's talk about the friends that I'm more a fan of. And this is like interest-based groups, right? So let's call these groups. And this could be book club. This could be sports leagues. This could be whatever. So let's take volleyball as an example. I love volleyball. So, okay, let's say you're going to play volleyball every single, that's volleyball, by the way. If people are just listening, I drew a beautiful volleyball, which pretty much is just a circle with a slash through it. So let's say you're going to be doing volleyball. You meet somebody at a co-ed volleyball league, and now you want to be friends with them. Well, 1, it's nice because you're going to have a weekly event every single week. Say it was just a pickup game. You could schedule something with them. Maybe you want to go see a professional volleyball team go play, or maybe there's a championship of volleyball. It makes it easy to invite people, and this person has a shared interest with you. You always have to, as an adult, kind of have an excuse to hang out with people. People don't really like as much the plan, like, oh, just come over and we'll sit on the couch and chill, unless you're watching like The Bachelor or something like that. So those 4 components of a friendship is proximity, timing, energy, and interest. And when you have those, you're going to make a much easier time making those friends. So let's talk a little bit about, friend groups. So I like to think of friends as kind of an inner circle and an outer circle. So we got the inner one here, in, and then we got the outer circle. So your inner circle is going to be your close confidants. These are people that you're going to be able to tell secrets to. They're going to care a lot about your life. If you introduce them to your parents, these are going to be the people at your wedding, the inner circle. Now, when you first move to a place and you do not have a bunch of friends, it's likely you're technically not going to have anyone in your inner circle because you shouldn't just be blabbering all of your internal problems to other people. Now, that can accelerate the friendship process, but I don't recommend it when you're first meeting somebody very, very new unless they come highly vetted from an external source that you trust a lot. So mostly we're going to be focusing on this outer circle. So we're going to be building out your outer circle through these different groups, and you have to view friendships kind of like a funnel. So if people aren't familiar with a funnel, It is essentially a tool that is very wide at the top and very narrow at the bottom. So when you have a funnel, you dump a lot of things into the funnel and things get filtered out, and only the best things remain. So we call this your top of funnel is going to be all the different events you go to, and you're going to add a bunch of friends in here. You call these your friends, right? And little by little, through going to more events, kind of seeing who you jive with energetically, seeing who you have more shared interests with, more people will filter down into your bottom of funnel, and that will be the people in your inner circle. So your inner circle are going to be people that are highly filtered and vetted by this. So how do we find more events so that we can get more people inside of your funnel, inside of your friendship funnel? So if we want to create more people inside your friendship funnel, you need to understand that relationships are made. You have to create your own luck. When you look back at your life, you're going to realize, oh, a lot of your friends came from a soccer league, or they came from school, or they came from work. And those relationships, they may have felt like luck, but they were made. They were largely made by an external force, but either your parents made you join that league or you joined that work group, and now it is on you as an adult to go actively create friendships and go add people into your friendship funnel, so to speak. I think it's such a funny play on words. So you have to start viewing yourself as being, I am a luck engineer. I am building my own serendipity because I need to go out and let's say you meet somebody cool at volleyball. You have to get their number. Go get their number. Get their number, get their Insta, get something. Keep in touch. You never know when you're going to be able to reach out to this person and what's going on in their life. The advantage of having an Instagram is you can kind of do a little bit of stalking when you get home. You can stalk and you can see, hey, does this person seem like your vibe? Like you kind of connected with them once, but check out, see if there's anything like red flags. You get a lot of information from somebody's Instagram. So grab their Instagram. And if you're like, wait, but I don't even know how to ask for their Instagram, say, oh, hey, we should keep in touch. You have an Instagram. And if they say no, say, oh, no worries. Do you have a phone number? Like I'd love to invite you to future events. There you go. Be proactive. Be proactive. Closed mouths do not get fed. Closed mouths do not get fed. You have to start proactively building your thing. And the one thing that I always like to keep in mind is everyone is looking for friends. You have to have this positive and proactive leader mindset. You want to be the person that is actively making plans. And you really only need one, I'll call this like a pillar friendship. One core pillar. You can do a lot with one good friend behind your side. And this is why it's so advantageous to move with a person. But I'm saying, hey, if you're starting net new, you're like, all my friends are toxic, or hey, I need to completely reset my life after a breakup. Maybe you overinvested in his life, and now you're just completely like, oh, I got to figure this out. You just need to find one pillar friend. And on your path to getting to the pillar friend, if we come back to this funnel example, you're going to meet a lot of people that like maybe they seem good at first, but turned out to not be so great. You're going to meet some okay people. It is a bit of a numbers game when you first start to find your person that you actually really care about. And that one pillar friend, when you have one person, now you're a team. Now, because when you have your one pillar friend that's like energetically aligned with you, is a good friend, is down to do a lot of things, it becomes a lot easier. And then you start to become more magnetic. You start to attract people into your group because other people are always looking for friends. So just like you were doing, where you were approaching groups of people, you were going to volleyball, you were going to bowling league or whatever the heck you were doing, and you had to go meet new people. Now people see you. They see you in your cool group and they're like, oh crap, I want to be friends with them. They seem normal. So you want to have this proactive leader mindset. There's a phrase that I always loved, and it's called, people are silently waiting to be led. People are silently waiting to be led. Everyone wants plans, but very few people want to actively go out and get it. So I want you to start thinking of yourself as a leader. And the thing you want to say is leaders lead. Leaders lead. Leaders are not necessarily more competent than other people. They don't necessarily know everything to do, but what they do is they take charge. So what I want you to do in your action plan is, if you're moving to a new place or maybe you're just resetting your life, take an audit of who your friends are right now. And do you want new friends? If you want new friends after your audit, then go decide, okay, what activities do I want to learn? What activities or what kind of groups? What activities or groups, right? And once you've identified a few things you want to do, then you have to go attend it. Go put it on your calendar. Go attend. And if you attend one of those events, so I used to be into Latin dancing, and I used to give myself a goal. I have to, and this was when I was first starting, and I sucked. I was so bad at dancing. I was horrible. And I used to set myself a goal. I'm gonna go dance with 10 women. 10 women I'm going to dance with. Because there's something when you're dancing, like it's just so cringe. You suck and the person hates you, and you're just like, you have to practice in order to get better. So go there, go attend, go get 3 people's numbers or contact information or Instagram, and that will be the base for building your friend group out. And then I highly recommend is once you attend the event, start posting stories, start reaching out to people. You need to create essentially a magnetic field around yourself where that person can see more about your life and it gives you excuses to reach out. And finally, I want you to set a phone alarm. I want you to set a phone alarm before the weekend comes. So let's say it's going to be Thursday. Thursday, I want you to set a phone alarm for 11 a.m. It says, and all it should say is create a plan. Create a plan and invite somebody to it. Say, I'm going to go to the art galleries on Saturday. Do you want to come? I'm going to do this, and make it something that you were already wanting to do yourself. And maybe you say to yourself, you're like, but I don't know, Jax, I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit at home and watch Netflix. Okay. Closed mouths don't get fed. You have to be proactive in creating your friend group. When you have your friend, I'll give you this. When you have your friends, you can then watch The Bachelor together. Eventually, but you first have to go out there and make your friends. So if you have any questions, drop them down below. I'm always happy to help. It's one of the things that I've had to do a lot in my life, so I'm always happy to help people understand how to make friends faster in a new city